No Man's Sky Beyond is the latest massive update from Hello Games, the studio behind No Man's Sky, the massive sci-fi endless universe sort of thing, which is now pretty much unrecognisable from what it was when it first launched a few years ago. My name's Mike Williams and this is Jake Kulkowski.
Yeah, it is. Space Cadet.
Space Cadet. Space-based builder, I reckon. You're a space architect.
Do you know what? Yeah, I am. And it's much to my wife's behest, yeah, because I don't give a shit about all the right move and location stuff that she likes.
Like
but
actual houses.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she wants to talk to me about doing a back garden. Don't want to hear it. When it comes to spaces, well in. I'm a changed man.
Everything changes when it's in space. That's the thing. Everything's immediately more interesting when it's like on a different planet. So we've been playing loads of No Man's Sky Beyond. So we've had plenty of time to test out all the different editions and stuff. Beyond had like 3 big pillars that Sean Murray and Hello Games said that, you know, one of them was VR, which is a big game changer. The other is a big sort of multiplayer and online sort of suite, like additions to the multiplayer, and it's a completely different experience from a multiplayer point of view. And then the third pillar is really pretty much what we have been enjoying the most, I guess, because it's just like loads and loads of different in-game additions and improvements, and they've put a lot into one update basically. And this third pillar that they were talking about a lot is probably the most interesting if you haven't got VR and you're not interested in multiplayer, because it's just, you know, transforming the game again into,
big
like
refurb.
into a different thing.
It's like when you go back to a pub and it's like got a new manager, but they're actually quite good, and you go, ooh, you like a new menu. So it's still the same pub, but you look at the menu and you go, I didn't know that they did hot dogs. Just like that, but in space.
Yeah, hot dogs is a sign of class on a menu. You're right. You've played it so much, and you did your thing that you like to do of playing the game before a big update, so you can sort of get yourself nice and limbered up.
Yeah, man.
So what did you notice like when the update went live? What were the first things you started enjoying and stuff?
Do you know what? Right, the first experience I had was a negative one. I've got to be honest with you. In the base building element of things, like, they've added electricity, which, you know, much like real life, is needed to power a lot of the cool shit. And my base was looking pretty wild, you know. I'd like, you know, frantically been preparing it for the arrival of all my space friends.
That's me and Liam for everyone at home.
Yep, all 2 of you. So, by the time the thing went live, I was shocked to find that nothing in my base worked. And it's because I didn't have any generators or wires or batteries. And then in like traditional No Man's Sky fashion, you need to craft them from local elements that you can find on pretty much every planet. So I built enough generators, reactors should I say, or solar panels. So I built a bunch of solar panels, but then at nighttime came and all of a sudden I had no power again, so then I needed to start building batteries. So I actually spent 6 hours building a network grid of solar panels, batteries and reactors to power my base. But I wanted to make sure that I kind of future-proofed it, so when I eventually add more stuff, I don't cap out my electricity. It's very much like, I think you'd said it to me actually in WhatsApp, it was like in Command and Conquer or whatever, when you don't have enough electricity and you go, oh, why didn't I build enough power plants?
Yeah, sure.
Because now nothing was. Yeah. It was that feeling. So to be honest with you, like, it wasn't how I wanted to spend the first 6 hours of the Beyond update, you know what I mean, mining for gold to build solar panels, but I've done it, and with that out the way, I could focus then on the multiplayer. So I flew up into space, and the game kept crashing.
Yeah.
So that was how it started for me. It's by the way, I've got to say I'm more positive on it now because they've patched it. But I think you had a similar thing, didn't you, with like crashes and stuff?
100%, man. Yeah. So every time I fired it up, there was a new patch, and it was a bit rough around the edges, really, like when the thing went live. But I'm sort of at the point with this game where I was going to come into this video with like loads of things that had annoyed me, like you're saying, and I'd had quite a bad time for the first few hours. But then I sort of thought, well, I'm not gonna start moaning about it because it actually is a free update, and they've already sort of pretty much sorted out everything that I was complaining about has been sorted.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for information, I'm playing it on a PS4 Pro, you're playing it on a PS4, so we're both playing on the console version. And I don't know what it's like for you, but the one thing that's still sort of a bit of a nightmare for me is the pop-in. So like when you arrive
big time
at a planet, and you know, I love it. I love the whole procedure. I love how long it takes. I love that you're like, you know, you've got that like ship coming back from space sort of red, burning as you're coming into the atmosphere. I love all that sort of stuff. But then, you know, you'll almost land the ship, and then all of a sudden there'll be like 1,000 trees will just like pop up all all around you, and you'll realise, oh, this was meant to be a forest where I've landed, and you don't know that until basically you're in the forest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially because like when you're looking somewhere to land, like you normally try and pick somewhere like nice and open.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're landing in. Yeah, you're right. Things pop up. I don't know if it's the same on the Pro, but on the base PS4, and I've seen this as kind of the sentiment online as well. There's like the grass pops in whilst you're running, so it's like it's a lot of that, and the grass on my planet is quite tall, and I'm a gek. So like it's like waist height grass, because of course I'm a gek. It pops in, and that's quite annoying. The patches do seem to have fixed that. And again, yeah, it's like a minor gripe on the grand scheme of things. And the scheme of things is grand. You started it from the beginning, haven't you? Again, like
I have, yeah. What I've been doing is going through this sort of streamlined intro. You said a lot after the next No Man's Sky update, so the No Man's Sky Next update, as it was called. The game changed a lot. He ended up doing loads and loads of mining and loads of gathering resources and crafting and in menus and stuff. There is still a lot of that, and that is an essential thing of what the game is. But now they've streamlined it quite a lot. So you are, like, after about half an hour from the starting planet, genuinely, like 30 minutes and you're in space. And what it's done really well this time around is actually, rather than have this really high peak right at the beginning for me, where I'm like, oh, this is so exciting, I can go off and do anything. It's sort of been a lot more like even all the way through, where it's kept my attention a lot better than it has done before, and I felt like I'm getting somewhere.
It's still what you were saying then about the intro and streamline thing is still like a bit of a problem later on, especially when it comes to base building, where it'll be kind of, you know, to make this you need to craft this, but to craft this you need to actually craft this. So for example, like there's a mission that you go to do the exocraft bit, and like to get the vehicles basically, and you need a certain item that you can only get if you follow another quest line, and to get that you need to follow another. So I got a bit frustrated, so I went I don't normally do multiplayer, but I went up into space, and I went into this Nexus thing, which is like the Destiny hub, right? I've got a lot of this currency called nanite clusters, which you can, when you go into the Nexus, there's like sure there's lots of players, but it's very useful for you because like the tower in Destiny, you've got all these sort of different merchants, and they've got like skill trees now, so you can kind of spend your currency more wisely, and I don't know, it's a lot more focused. So yeah, you might want to like focus on traveling, so you want to just upgrade your starship so you can specifically search for, I don't know, something like launching from planet to planet. Always waste my time because I always forget to get the fuel to launch off, right? So I focus down like the upgrade, so my launch thrusters will refuel themselves over time. So it's like, it's, you know, that's very specific to me, but other people might want better lasers so they can mine asteroids more efficiently in space or whatever. You might not even want to bother with your ship. You might be all about, you know, your weapons or like your vehicles if you've unlocked them. So like there's great options to spend your clusters or your money, whatever. There's also like this other currency, Quicksilver, which everything about it smells of like the flipping, what's it called? Like,
the Eververse, the loot box.
The Eververse. It kind of looks like that, but you don't have to buy it. It's the Quicksilver shop, but I've not bothered with any of that yet. When it comes to like checking out other people's ships, I found that pretty cool. They all belong to other players. See them all running around. Again, I'm a gek, so they're all taller than me. And there's a big giant, like, it is very Destiny. You know that giant eye, that one-eyed thing that came out in the first. There's like one of them in the middle of the Nexus, and you can go up to it. It's called the Nexus, I think itself, like the heart of the Nexus. And you can use that as like a multiplayer lobby. Like you can, I don't know, like set off on a different expedition depending on what reward you want, but there's different rewards if you want to make a base for nanite clusters or you want a rare resource, you can do that. So there's a lot of variety there, to be honest. I didn't really jump into anything with other players, but I did see some, like we were remoting each other, and like one of them was sitting on my ship, which is kind of weird. It's kind of, it was equivalent of like, I don't know, like walking into a shop doing a bit of shopping, coming out, and then someone's just sat on the bonnet of your car or the hood of your car if you're American. So yeah, that's my experience in the Nexus. I think it was pretty cool.
Over time, they're just getting a good balance of stuff. And I remember the first time they introduced multiplayer, it raised all these questions about, you know, griefing and stuff. And, you know, is it now a multiplayer game where people are going to be shooting each other and stuff? And No Man's Sky isn't a game about, you know, shooting and combat. And it's a game about where the developer wants you to go out and explore rather than go out and fight stuff. But then once you have multiplayer, there's sort of like an expectation for you to have some sort of, you know, so it had all these like big questions coming up. But I feel like
danger.
Yeah, but I feel like they've they've sort of hit a balance like really well with all different, with all aspects of the game, including the multiplayer now. One thing that I really like in general from this update is just how busy things feel and stuff. Like when you go to the space stations and stuff now, it just feels like there's NPCs and that everywhere, and they're like, when the ships land in the space station, the pilots come out and they've got like little data pads and they're checking out their ships and stuff, and they're, there's just a lot more attention to detail and stuff, and I guess they can spend time, the developers can actually spend time doing shit like that now, and it really works. It's really definitely worth it. Again, planet variety and stuff feels like it's improved, and it's improved earlier on as well. Like the first galaxy that the starting galaxy, these planets are definitely a lot more interesting than they were at launch. I hit one planet that I was legitimately scared, and I was like, honestly, it was so good. It was really atmospheric, and it was, it had no music. They pulled the music out, and it just had like this ambient sort of "this planet is dead" wind sort of noise.
Yeah.
And there was like some horrendous fucking monster on it, and that was like after I jumped 3 times. You know what I mean? And it was like a good sort of horror moment in No Man's Sky, and that was a nice surprise. And I've already had about 2 or 3 nice surprises already. One planet that was completely covered in water, but the water was totally irradiated, and there was all sorts of horrible shit in the water as well. And I don't know, I just think they're having a lot of fun as developers, like putting stuff in there now, which is really good.
Just to further that point as well, for more like, I guess you'd say like advanced players, like, because when you upgrade your hyperdrives and like warp drives and stuff, you can go to different like colour solar systems. So like, red stars and green stars and blue stars, and they're different themselves as well. Scorched planets with like lava veining through the floor. Like I can access all of the different types of stars because of the skill tree. I was able to focus that, whereas I put about 25 hours in on the previous update, and it was like quite RNG based. Like I only found the ones to go to red systems. I couldn't find the green one. So now that I can seek it out and go there, like, I think the one question people want to know is, Jake, have you been milking any aliens? And I just want to say, like, the option to milk aliens is quite frustrating to get to that point. Like, you have to build a lot of things to start milking aliens. So what I've been doing as an alternative, right, is turning the monsters on my planet, into sausages and selling them, because it's good
monster.
money. I've got these like giant like cats on my planet, and like I can sell feline liver, but there's these giant ones I got called striders, and I can make strider sausage out of them.
That sounds like an actual brand as well. Strider sausages. I can see the packet.
It's very Abe's Odyssey. I want to kind of keep it a veggie planet now. I'm going to just start a ranch, I think. I'm not going to sell any more sausages and stuff, but I just wanted to see what it was like to sort of harvest the creatures' wares and sell them.
The game feels, to me, so complete now, and I feel like there's such a strong thread pulling you through the game to begin with, and now they've got all these things set up in terms of multiplayer and stuff to keep you playing as well. Once you've had your fill of like exploration and story and stuff, there's so much in there for you to just keep messing around with. I don't know what else they could possibly add to it to make it more interesting, apart from just having fun. And if they said like, that's it now, lads, we're just going to keep supporting it, but not putting in any more content, I'd be, I'd think, fantastic, you fucking done a good job. Like, I can't wait to see what you do next.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've pretty much like made good on all the things that they originally had sort of said or led people to believe. So like super rare monsters would be great. That's what I'd like to see. I remember that worm from the original trailer. That might be in there,
I think they've done a really good job. Overall though, we're both pretty positive on this, aren't we? Like, I think it's another really good update.
Yeah. They couldn't have really done much else, really. I like VR seems to be the headliner, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's something that we haven't jumped into, but it seems to be a smasher, and I can only imagine what it would be like to play it in VR.
I'd love to, man.
Maybe for Christmas,
There's actually loads of complaints about the VR stuff, and it really hasn't put me off at all. Like, people saying the PlayStation version, the PSVR version, is really low quality and blurry in comparison to the if you're playing it on the Valve Index VR, for example. But that doesn't deter me at all. I really want to see it. I really want to play it in VR, and I haven't had that with any game, even like Resident Evil or something, which I really enjoyed. This is the first time I've actually thought VR could actually massively enhance the experience, and I don't think any game has ever managed that yet. So so that's what we thought about No Man's Sky Beyond, and we're both playing it quite a bit, and probably going to be playing some multiplayer and stuff in the near future. If you've been playing it, let us know what you think about it down in the comments. It'd be great to hear actually what other people have to say about it, because it's one of them games where everyone's experience is going to be different, so that should be super interesting. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon in a podcast or something, probably. I don't know. See you later. Bye.